I started playing soccer when I was about 9, and I started in rec for 2 years. Then I went to signature for a year, and we made it all the way to like the state cup, or like we made it to like the final, but we didn't win. And then we did my first year club, and that was rough because we had a really bad coach who would always like scream at us, and like he would cuss at us when we were 11.
Wow. I'm just going to segue right here. What's a good coach?
Someone who like is strict, but like is still like a person that you can come to when you're struggling. You're not afraid to talk to.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. So then you were a club coach. How did that manifest itself with high school then?
Well, it kind of gave me like a tougher skin because always being yelled at, like you couldn't like. I know people who like very sensitive and like if you get yelled at, like they'll start to cry, and so like I kind of get like the tougher skin where like if I get yelled at, then like I try to improve instead of trying to like look down. I'm like, okay, I need to do this better and that, and like take the coach's advice instead of just like looking down and be like, oh, like I can't believe I did that.
Tell me more about your path to improvement. Because clearly, as a senior, you've done some amazing things, right? So that's really cool. Tell me a little bit about that path to improvement.
I've just like been looked upon myself instead of like trying to like use other people as a way to like improve myself or try to do it like internally.
Okay.
In
Tell
a
me
way.
more about that. Yeah.
Instead of like being like if I do like a bad touch, be like, okay, next time I need to focus and do this touch this way, or analyze my games and like look back and be like, okay, I did this, but I should have done that to do a better play, and use my other teammates' advice too. It helps.
Okay. Tell me, like that path. Would you say you work as hard as everybody else, less hard, or more?
I feel like I work more hard because I felt like on my teams I'm usually like not the best player, but I'm like a top player. So like I want like for me to be one of the top players, which is like I want to be. Like I feel like I work harder so that I can shine like brighter than other
Okay.
people.
So it's through the hard. Tell me more about the hard work. Like, give me some examples of the hard work.
Um, well, like during practice, like I try to go 100%, even though sometimes it might not look like that. But I try, because everyone has off days. So when I do have days, like I'm like focusing, especially when I'm finishing, since I'm a striker, I take like pride in shooting.
Okay. So how did you get good at striking and at shooting?
Probably just through like repetition and not being like afraid to take a shot, because I know like some people like hesitate or if it's like on their weaker foot, like I don't shy away if like it's on my weaker foot to shoot, even though I know the shot's not going to be as good as my right foot.
Was it not as good, or are you not feeling as confident with it?
It would be like not probably me as not as confident, therefore it'd like result in it not being as good.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. So, what would you say okay, so we keep talking about soccer. There's some other sports you've played, yes?
Yes.
Talk to me about those real quick. I know you're wearing a soccer shirt, and the guy's right over there is talking about soccer, right? But tell me more about some of the other things.
So I began running track in my freshman year, and I made varsity freshman
You even
year.
lost him, you even left, like, right? Whatever.
I made varsity my freshman year, and I was the 300-meter hurdle league champion.
As a freshman?
As a freshman, yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I've held that title today, and I also hold the school record for the 300-meter hurdles.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's right. So now, how has track served you in soccer?
Just like discipline, because I know in track it's like every Monday we work out, and then for hurdle work it's like you have to be like hard on yourself because our coach like there's only one hurdle coach, and there's also like maybe like 10 hurdlers, and obviously the freshmen coming in, they don't have as much experience as the people who've been hurdling, so you don't get as much attention. So you need to like when he says something, you need to like try to work on it yourself instead of trying to have him always look at you.
Got it. So you gotta have to have that self-motivation, and then so that skill that is the hurdle. How is that manifested? Like, does that help with soccer at all?
I guess I've hurdled over a few people.
Once you break their ankles, you got to hurdle over them, right?
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah, yeah, it's a curse. All right, so now I'd love you to describe what you think is your biggest struggles. Like, because nobody gets to a position of being a league champ 4 years in a row, getting to be 3 goals scored this week, if I'm not mistaken, right? Without some challenges. Can you describe some of your challenges?
Well, definitely one of my biggest challenges in soccer is my size and my strength because I'm obviously not the biggest person and I don't have much upper body muscle. So I get knocked off the ball really easily. So it's hard when like you have to hold the ball for your team and you're just getting pounded like on your back and then I usually like cough up the ball, but I'm getting better with that. But yeah, that's one of my biggest struggles right now.
Okay, and then I'm talking more historically, like what has been the struggle, like the thing that you have to maybe, okay, so, upper body strength, you get knocked off the ball, but I'm talking like a big picture, like has it been academics, has it been parenting, has it been friends, has it been the amount of work that you have? Like, what about those, all the things that it takes to be you in life? What's been the biggest struggle? Both on the field and off the field. So you talk about on the field, maybe you include off the field. What comes to mind?
Well, like definitely my freshman year, it was hard for me because I was very shy my freshman year, and like during high school, that's when I started to become like my outgoing personality. So freshman year was hard because none of my friends from my middle school played like any sports. So I was coming into it like, and I didn't know anyone who was playing like on the team. So like I had to like make new friends myself,
Right.
and it was kind of hard being like shyer.
Mm-hmm. So tell me more about that, because it sounds to me like the team element is important. So talk a little bit about team, what team means to you.
Well, I broke my collarbone freshman year, so I didn't get to play any high school soccer. So like it definitely helped me because like I couldn't bond with them on the field or during practice. So like when we had like our carb load meetings and stuff, that's when like you really had to bond, or like before practices on the school bus. So it's like really important, and especially having Maddie Dack freshman year, she was like, and she was also a hurdler, and she became like one of my close friends, and had such like a nice and like easygoing personality. And I think most of the girls like on our choice soccer program have that. So I think it's good for like the upcoming freshmen who don't have to feel like scared to like really be who they want to be on the field.
Very cool. So you've outlined a few of your struggles. Have we covered them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. How about academics? Do you struggle with academics?
Not really. Like I'm usually like a straight A student. So
That's cool. Right, so that doesn't have to be a struggle. Okay, now, if you could describe what are some of the most rewarding things that you get from soccer, what would those be?
Definitely like the friendships I have built through the team, and after like, or like when we like do our vigorous like practices leading up to like our Sunny games, and then like winning against Sunny is like really rewarding, especially like when it's home and we have a huge crowd.
Very cool. Very cool. How about in track? What are some of the things that are really rewarding to you in track?
It's really rewarding when like we're warming up for track meets, and like I'm going over hurdles, and like I can like hear people say, I'm like, oh, like that's the girl that like runs the hurdles, like that's the really good girl. Or when I have coaches come up and just like, oh, like you're an amazing runner. So it's like really rewarding to like hear that through like all the work that I've put through.
Very cool. And how are your parents in all this?
My parents, for track at least, they didn't think I was gonna be able to go over one hurdle. So yeah, and then my like first race, I like got first place and I like blew like everyone kind of out of the water.
Very cool.
But like for track, they've been like for soccer, they've been really supporting, and they let me like choose what I want to do. So like obviously they like if I have like a bad game, they'll like talk to me like, oh, like what happened out there and stuff like that. But like they're very supporting about my decision. They want it to be about me and not about them. Because like my dad plays sports and he was like pushed really hard, so he doesn't want like that same mentality for me, and wants me to do the sport because I love it and not because I'm being pushed.
Very cool. Very cool. Good for them. Good for them. Yay, mom and dad. All right, is there anything else that you could think of that you would like people to know?
Not really.
Okay, now here's the one that's the toughest one. What do you not want people to know?
that I missed a shot last game that was super easy when the goalie came out.
Missed that. That's a bummer. So you don't want people to know about that it's on film. And usually when people go, wait a minute, you don't want people, if I don't want people to know, then why would I answer that question? But sometimes people do. Mr. Silzer, is there anything else that you can think of that you want me to ask?
What does it mean to you to be a part of a team?
Answer that in a complete
Answer
sentence.
the question first and then.
Yeah, answer that in a complete sentence.
To me, to be on a team means that you push one another, but in a positive way, and you build together instead of just individuals building by themselves. And it means it's like when you win as a team, you lose as a team. So no matter what, you all take responsibility for your actions instead of blaming one person for something that they did.
It's pretty good.
How do you
Pretty good answer.
celebrate your successes? And answer the question with a sentence.
Yeah, complete sentence.
I like to celebrate my successes in sports by relaxing and watching Netflix.
That's awesome.
And how about
Oh, this was on the.
failures?
How do you manage your failures? That's actually a good one, yeah. And answer complete sentence. That's a good one.
I manage my failures by just looking back at them and realizing that it's not the end of the world by having one mistake and that I can improve on it. And by looking at it like, don't by looking at all as negative, see like what positive, like there was some positive and always something. So look at the positive, but then see what you can improve on the negative.
Yeah, context. Context helps, for sure. Anything else?
Yeah. What are your goals for this season? Because we just barely started. And you're a senior.
Yeah,
So what are your goals? My goals.
complete sentence.
My goals for this season is to go 21-0 for our record. I don't want to lose a game this season, and hopefully to make it to state and win, because I feel like that's a really big goal for like a lot of my seniors. Because when we talk about it, we always talk about how we want to go to state, because I think the farthest we've ever gone was quarterfinals. So state would be like really cool, especially to get the patch.
I love how it's not just finishing quarterfinals and getting to semi or getting to the, no, I want to go to the next level and win that too. I like that. Ambitious. It's good.
Because I want the patch.
It's all about the bling. Say that. It's all about the bling.
It's all about the bling.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think your experiences in how you fail and recover is really good for new players
Yeah.
of varsity to see.
I'm hoping my daughter's watching. She'll be back there. She's a water polo player, and she's having some success with that. And so it's really interesting. Actually, I answer this question. You were having success. How do you not just rest on those successes? How do you continue to sharpen that knife, so to speak?
I like continue it because I know that like if I keep pushing myself, it's only going to make us like one step better than the other team who we play against, so that we can make it to state, or like for track, I can make it to like the next round of like CIF, or like to make it to Masters.
Cool.
So the day before the game, the vibe of training was good, bad, whatever the case is. How did you get from there to scoring 3 goals yesterday? Maybe describe kind of.
You scored 3 goals yesterday. You got a hat trick yesterday in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about those 3 goals. Goal 1.
Goal 1 was a wall pass with my other striker, and then she was going down line and she crossed it and I scored off the goal. Then the second one was from a corner kick. Aaliyah Juj like headed it and it was bouncing, and then I kicked it in. And then the third one was I received the ball and then I like dribbled inside and I took the girl on and she gave me a bunch of space, so I shot it. And I thought it was going out wide at first, and like I think everyone did, because even the goalie didn't move. And then like at the last minute, it like curved inside, and it scored.
Hats off to you. Hat trick, nice job. Very cool. I've gotten what I need to out of this.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I use this as an example in interviewing skills?
Sure.
Okay, that's very nice of you. Thanks for that. It would just be used in class.
Thank you.
And if it's used anything bigger than that, it's on him. That's because he's done it.
Good.
All right, you can stop recording.